Well, 20 years since Playmakers came out. ESPN, I watched all 11 episodes religiously. They had domestic violence. They had the rookie running back who had a drug problem. They had a guy who was gay on the roster. And the ratings went over 2 million an episode. And then, boof, pop, zing, it's done because the NFL wasn't happy about it. The guy who played the defensive lineman said Warren Sapp wasn't happy how he was portrayed. He said, dude, I was just playing myself. Some players, primetime, Deion Sanders said, hey, Call Me Company has joined the show. All right, you want to talk? We can bring you on too. But Playmakers, 20 years old. And I remember I watched it religiously. You can't get it anywhere. You can get it on DVD. There's episodes on YouTube. But Tagliabue wasn't happy how the NFL was portrayed. Primetime said, let me tell you, when I was on the Falcons, the Cowboys, we had it work. We were as crazy, if not crazier. Dallas had a goddamn house for all the players to bring their girlfriends, all the married players, whatever. They had like a playhouse, like a frat house. And the Falcons, I mean, he was playing with Andre Rison. It must have been crazy back then. And, read some things about the show. Omar Gooding, Cuba's brother, said he was mobbed in Vegas. People still ask about the show. His character, Demetrius Harris. I forgot that Snoop came on and played his brother on the show. And Playmakers, America Film Institute's top 10 shows of 2003, including 24 on The Wire. I mean, that's pretty, it was really good. And Jason Matthew Smith, he played linebacker Eric Olczyk. He goes in for an audition, and he'd broken up his girlfriend. He was skinny and everything, and they said he was good, but he wasn't right for the role. His agent got him a second audition. So for 2 weeks, he lifted weights, took weight gainer, gained 20 pounds, wore a ton of sweatshirts into the audition, shaved his head, put a goatee, and he ends up getting the part. And that's one of the stories. And Christopher Wheel played the quarterback. I guess he was going for the linebacker quarterback. And he was making $50K in a show. This was only going to pay him $15K. And he was like, he took it. And he still talks about one of his best shows. Threw out his arm, throwing the ball 35, 40 yards down the field and had, the stem put on. He said he still feels the stem through. That's how much stem he had. He still has problems with the shoulder since then. I mean, what did I talk? Hornsby, said he was an athlete. Well, he was juking some guys. He got hit because they brought in CFL guys because they shot it at the Sky Dome, the football scenes at the Sky Dome in Toronto. And after that, he said, yeah, my stunt double. And Omar Gooding said that him and Russell Hornsby, who played the other running back, who in the show, he's a star running back who hits his wife and, domestic violence charges brought against him. They ran out of sprint and Gooding popped his hamstring. Hornsby said, you got to stretch, man. You got to stretch. And Hornsby, so he plays running back Leon Taylor. He said it was his third acting job, paying less Playmakers than Gideon's Crossing. But everybody, looked at this, that, it opened up a lot of doors for them. His agents didn't want to do it because it was a pay cut. There was an agent and assistant named Andrew Rogers. After the shooting's done, he goes back, and Rogers read it 3 times. He goes, you got to do the show. You got to do the show. This is a great show for you. It's it'll open, whatever. Open up doors, all that stuff. He finishes shooting. He goes back to his agent's office. He wants to know where this Andrew guy is. And to this day, 20 years later, Andrew Rogers is Hornsby's agent. He did Grimm. He's done a lot of stuff, Hornsby. Always liked him. And yeah, it was really, really cool. Yeah, to read the stories, they wrote some stories about it in The Athletic. I love The Athletic. Something I read every day pretty much. And I just saw that and I said, I believe the show with that because this was a show that was ahead of its time. NFL wasn't happy. And they were also negotiating contracts. It ends up that ESPN went to Monday Night Football. They canceled the show, which they said it was going to come back for a second season. And the quarterback was going to have a bigger role in the second season. They were going to go different storylines. Well, ESPN gets Monday Night Football. Playmakers never sees the light of day again. But, 20 years, very impressive. I saw that. I said, that's something I could start the show off with. So that's what I decided to start the show off with, was Playmakers. I loved it. Jets, okay. Lost the game yesterday. They called up a play from Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson threw a bomb that I thought he overthrew his receiver, made a hell of a catch. He only played a couple series. The Jets had chances to score touchdowns. I mean, it's early. Gangrene Nation's Will McDonald flashed potential last night, the first-round pick at Iowa State, blistering speed, and Max Crosby-inspired spin move. That looks well. I thought that Mekhi Becton got hurt, but it was just a precautionary thing. They said he played well left tackle, first game in over 700 days. Yeah, the third-string quarterback is terrible. I mean, there's no way to say about it. Tim Boyle, too, is not. Tim Boyle has been. Now, he knows the system because he's with the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, but no, he is not good. And I love the energy of the third-string quarterback, but come on, let's be honest. And Broccoli Rob was there, but did not send me any pictures. Yeah, Malik Taylor caught a 57-yard catch. What I see? Brownlee had 2 catches for 17 yards. Israel Abanaconda had a touchdown, but only 9 carries for 27 yards. But he did score a nice touchdown. Zach Wilson, 3 for 5, 65 yards. Boyle, 6 for 11, 61 yards. And Chris Streveler. I mean, he brought a lot of energy to the team last year, but he's not a quarterback. You know, he's 1 for 7, 9 yards, and he looked terrible out there. I mean, absolutely terrible. But it brings a lot of energy, right? It brings a lot of energy. And Crockett and Gibson both had fumbles. They didn't recover. The Jets had 1 sack. Bryce Huff. I was looking to see what McDonald, 3 tackles, 3 solo tackles, 1 quarterback hit. Yeah, they only had 3 quarterback hits on the day and 3 tackles for losses. All right. You know, hey, it's the first preseason game, an extra preseason game. These are guys, a lot of these guys aren't going to be on